Welcome back to Mimosas with Comadres. My name is Mimi.
Lola.
How is everyone doing? Hopefully everyone's having enjoying their first couple of weeks of going back to school, college, high school, elementary, and the dreaded traffic in San Antonio now that everybody's out of the home, right? But I think we're surviving. We do have some guests this episode. We have Daniel, we have Joe, Janet, Maria with us. And they're gonna pretty much share what this week's episode's about. It's the title of the episode is pretty much "The Light Remains." So it's part of a quote that I found that I'll end with the episode with explaining that. But the light remains. So we're gonna pretty much kind of talk. Trigger warning for anybody. We are going to talk about death, grieving, and how that looks like, and how some of our guests have lost their loved ones. So that's something that, it's hard to talk about, and I do appreciate everybody here showing up and, expressing their feelings. So let's just go ahead and right into it. We are pretty much finished from a Mimosas with Comadres event. I know I wasn't able to attend because I was doing therapy, trying to do the right thing, right? And so I couldn't make it in time to go there and to therapy at the same time. But Lola and Joe did actually attend. How did it go?
Well, Joe's the only one that did the Zumba class.
That's
because
nice.
I brought my dog with me, and I thought he'd be fine, but he started.
Oh, I started having a
He was
panic.
overeating, and I said, "Oh my God!" So I had to sit in the truck with him, and air. The air was on. Poor thing. He doesn't do that well in the heat, and so she was kicking butt out there. It was cool. I like the music, and it was just nice. It was a beautiful morning.
We're gonna have hopefully this month. It is gonna be 2 social events just to get everybody out, just to enjoy each other and network and socialize with women and with men, with compadres,
We need them.
Yeah, sometimes. Okay.
We don't need men. My opinion is I'm terribly wrong. Well, they were terribly wrong. I was terribly wrong in the past because I haven't had a partner in like 27 years, and that is way too long. And now I know. Yes, we need men.
All right, they're useful sometimes. Okay, I'll say that. But we're gonna have a karaoke event, dad's karaoke, hopefully. And after that, we're gonna do Dirty Bingo. What the preface is with that is Dirty Bingo at the Art Deco Pizzeria. You don't have to actually buy into the bingo, which is good. It's going to be free, and you'll be winning free prizes. Of course, support the business. Buy their pizza, their wings, whatever you want to do during that time when you're playing Dirty Bingo. So that's going to be one of how we're going to close the month of August. And besides that, we're going to be almost a year next month. So joining Mimosas with Comadres. So yeah, it's been something. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later or next episode. Let's go ahead and just jump into the No Pues Wow moment. And of course, the No Pues Wow, so that way we do have some new listeners who don't know what No Pues Wow is pretty much we gather any events or social stuff or something's happening that kind of makes you go No Pues Wow, like what in the world, right? But the first one, we're just going to dive in and talk about Breonna Taylor. Do you guys know a little bit about what happened in that situation? It kind of happened. It happened in 2020, so it's been a while. Well, she was 26 years old. She was an emergency room technician. She actually was shot and killed in her apartment during a flawed forced entry raid in the early hours of March 13, 2020. So her death, along of course other Black deaths have followed that. But hers right now has been popping up because there's like new things coming up in her case. So it's been a while. I mean, 2020 until like 2022, we're actually able to say something is going towards it, right?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of crazy. Do you guys remember what happened in 2020?
Alone, and they came in and they didn't even verify anything. They killed her in her home, and it was just the wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, not the wrong place, wrong time because she was at her home. The cops were at the wrong place, wrong time, right?
Well, for the cops.
Yeah, for the cops. They shot 22 shots in her home, and they tried to pawn it off. Well, her boyfriend was selling drugs, or her, this or that. But at the end of the day, it was the wrong home, and they didn't have like an official warrant. I don't know if you heard.
That's the whole issue. That's what I remember it being like. The fact that they can do that without a warrant, those no
rush
knock.
into an apartment.
Yeah, or just anywhere and they can
No warning.
do that.
Yeah, they didn't have any warning, and their thing was that they fully announced themselves. And a lot of the neighbors actually were saying that they never heard any cops announce themselves when they reached, because they're supposed to say cops are here, blah blah blah. They said that they didn't hear anything because it was happened early morning hours. They should hear a lot of stuff happening, but they said that they didn't fully announce themselves. Neighbors were like the witnesses for that. But what's going on now is that one of the officers involved in the deadly raid on Breonna Taylor home, his name is Sergeant Kyle Meany. He's finally been terminated from the Louisville Metro Police Department by the sergeant, of course, and the other police officers involved are Brett Hanskins, Joshua James, Kelly Hannah Gutlet, and then that Kyle Meany guy. But they're all in custody and they're waiting to.
They'll get a job somewhere else.
But yeah, probably more likely, because that's usually what happens with police officers. They get fired in one district, but they actually get hired in another one, and they'll just
Kind of like the
continue.
priests.
Yeah, they just
parish
move
to parish.
around. They just move around. Yeah, exactly. So that happened with that, and they have been
I
arrested
thought they
with
were
FBI.
gonna. They actually not that they just terminated. I thought they were doing criminal charges against them.
That's the criminal charges against, actually is brought by the FBI and charged by the DOJ. So they actually all been already charged by the FBI already. Just recently, and they just recently fired that guy, Calamini. They haven't mentioned about the other guys that they lost their jobs or they got fired. But I know for sure that at least they're all charged and they're all arrested already. Regarding a lot of stuff is coming out. They didn't even have a warrant. They actually were then trying to make one up at the end to cover their tracks. So a lot of stuff was coming out regarding how crazy this search warrant went, and how the tragedy of her losing her life.
I'm wondering if how many police officers entered into her apartment?
I just know about these four,
Four?
because these four
Well,
got
that's a lot.
directly towards
And
them.
Four
I'm
is a lot.
wondering, whoever was, in charge
Mhm.
and said, let's do this, and then the other three just follow
Mm-hmm.
without questioning, or maybe they were scared to lose their job if they didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you have to stand for something.
Yeah.
That's because you have to have character. You got to have that
Mhm.
personality to challenge your supervisor and ask, well, where's the warrant? Can I see it? And hey, I mean, who knows? You might get in trouble with that supervisor, but it's your integrity and it might save you from going to jail.
Yeah. And going to jail and not killing an innocent person's
And
life.
yes,
That's,
not killing, not killing an
conscious
innocent
too.
person. That's the main thing.
Mhm.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, I'm just
But,
trying to add it. Yeah,
uh-huh,
no, but
yes,
definitely you're definitely right
yes.
on that about the
Mhm.
character part, and when are you gonna stand up for your own thing? You can't just be following all the time somebody. So yeah, that's definitely a great point. With the charges, with all them, I think there was a lot more, but then a lot of things came up because she also had a carry on her in the apartment. I think she shot back, but I mean, she was defending her home. She didn't know what was going on. She thought she was probably getting robbed and things like that. So, 22 shots too. I don't know how many shots that they fired inside the apartment, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because it was just, I don't know. That was one of the peak moments of when the protest started and everything else too as well. So that's just it's crazy. But also it's just a reminder for us as citizens to know your rights and kind of just educate yourself as much as you can. So that way when hopefully you or anybody who's around you, you never, in that situation.
And she wasn't even armed.
No.
She wasn't shooting.
No, I think it was the boyfriend who shot back defending
okay.
her, but I mean, they were in their home, they had a legal
Yeah.
gun, so it just
Defending their property.
yeah, defend their property. So you just didn't know because since the police didn't announce themselves, right?
Yeah.
So it's just something you can't imagine that would happen.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's important to highlight that, it's the whole fact that she's seen justice or just delayed justice as far as 2 years in it, now compared to when Michael Floyd happened, it kind of, it got more national attention, and it's kind of the same situation with the whole Brittany Griner situation right now. I feel like if it was a male black athlete in the NBA, it would have been more there's gonna be
Oh yeah, there's been a movement for her. So Brittany Griner, what he's talking about is that black NBA star that's in Russia, right?
Mhm.
Russia right now. She got arrested and she's gonna serve what did you
9 or 10
years over a vape, so it was like ounces of marijuana. So and they're still, the government is like still seeing if they're gonna assist, But if it, like, he was saying, if it was a black man who was famous or an NBA star, it would have been a different, like, faster commotion, right?
So black women are just more, they're not expendable.
Yeah. So that's why, that's a good point regarding Brianna, like how later on it kind of happened. And she did get the fame not the fame, but the publicity of when all that stuff was happening.
I mean, it was mostly just because of the public outcry from like the NBA and like even the WNBA was kind of pushing it, so like it takes more campaigning.
Yeah. It's unfortunate too as well. Moving from another person who has passed away to now Selena. So that's something that we can talk about more regarding Nick Quintanilha's new adventure regarding her album. Have y'all listened to it? Because it released on July 20th. I haven't, honestly.
I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
I don't know, I feel weird listening to somebody who has passed away, and like I would listen to other artists that have passed away. Their music, I'm good, but just knowing the history of Nick Quintanilha, like how much, like, to me it comes off like, money hungry, or kind of like, just chasing that, like they don't want her like to rest a little bit. That's why I kind of find it like, I don't want to really listen to it, because I just don't know. I just find it weird. But it's been 27.
It sounds a little personal.
Yeah, it just sounds.
And it's true though. Sometimes I hear, I don't know, a bad story about a celebrity, and I'm like, I don't. After that, my attitude or whatever changes towards them. And yeah, it is personal, because we do, we do have personalities, we do have character, and if we don't like it, what they're doing,
Yeah, see, like you said, it's just because it comes personal, because we've heard so many stories of like things they didn't let her do, like her love with Chris and like all this stuff, and the stuff that they're blocking on her husband's side for him to show his love for his wife. They don't allow him to do, but so that's why I'm like, I kind of feel iffy about it, right? But it's been 27 years. Can y'all believe that? Like, I cannot believe it's been 27 years. It's been 27 years. I can remember when I found out Selena was, passed away. I was in junior high. Everybody was crying and all, and everything. It was just like so big for us, and just her death was very tragic too as well. So it's the track that's called "Es Como Te Quiero Yo a Ti." It released on July 29th. So what they did is they mixed previous release tracks with new arrangements. Okay, so they also got songs that were recorded when she was 15. So these are really young tracks. But what they did, they didn't leave it with her voice, like her 15-year-old voice. They matured it. So they mixed it to the point where it sounds a little bit more mature. And that's where I kind of feel like kind of weird.
I was thinking the different idea right now.
It's not even authentic.
No.
Yeah, that I was thinking different of when you were speaking.
Yeah.
But now that you're explaining all this, it's like, maybe I don't want to listen. I was already thinking I would like to listen.
Yeah, because I thought they would leave her 15-year-old voice there, and just the songs that were not, they created.
They can kind of even just give it like some nostalgia, like just
that would be more of a nostalgia for Selena. Like, okay, cool, this is authentically her, like who she is, but they manipulate to sound 23 years old.
Yeah. So no.
And we would even be happy if they would have maybe put both when she was 15 and now the mature
because some people want to
version.
hear the mature version
so
of her.
we could just hear.
Like even at the end of the song, like some songs like slow down and they'll put like an audio clip of someone, or like some random outro where you can hear like some words that they said or something, like just to kind of like give some like pace and time of what they sounded like or something.
That's where I kind of was kind of thinking
So
about that one. Yeah.
actually, this is nice because they may take up on our idea.
Bring her back.
Yes, I hope they're listening.
No, they'll probably come back and sue us because we're talking about it.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
We're not saying
We
it.
didn't do the copyright, stuff, and all that stuff. But yeah, that's a little bit crazy though.
We
So
know our rights.
I know. Don't
Free
you dare.
First Amendment.
That would be the next move for us.
A little bit on Selena. I'm gonna go back on the Selena situation. Two things that I firmly know. God, I met Selena face to face, in a Mark III van that my sister and my brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law, can contest to. We were in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had to move Selena from like location to location.
Okay.
And Atlanta, it was just way too much for everybody. So we told them that she was in another vehicle, and in reality, she was in the van.
Oh wow.
And you couldn't, it was just so many people. So we went to, it was like the International Ballroom, and just seeing her, I was like, young, and I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And then at the same time, like my sister too, and everybody met her too, but I was just so intrigued with her freestyle music. A lot of people don't know that she was going into the realm of creating freestyle, Johnny O, Cynthia, back in freestyle. So that last song that she had was Dreaming of You.
Okay.
That was one of her leads to like going into the freestyle world with everybody else. So I am very interested to hear those older songs to see if those were the freestyle songs that she was talking about back in the day, and I told her I'm a big fan of freestyle.
Yeah.
I've had my opportunity to do it, but I financially wasn't in the, place to do it. Other people were. So, I'm very interested to hear those songs now. And I didn't even know about them, honestly. I didn't.
Yeah, it's out now, girl. So you
Yeah,
can
I
definitely
can
download, streamload, and
Yeah.
support that. And from what I got, that's a really cool story that you said. But you sing?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm jack of all trades, just master
So
of
you're
one.
going to karaoke then?
I am so going to karaoke. I'm
Okay.
excited.
Yeah, okay.
English, Spanish, country. I mean, come on, let's go.
All right. So you heard it now. Joe will be on that list for karaoke. Thank God, because I'm not gonna be. I'm just gonna be like, yay!
As long as
You
you
can
cheer me
cheer
on.
me on, cheer me on.
Or the backup dancer.
Yeah, I was your back. You were actually Janet's backup dancer for one of the karaoke nights that we had. It was actually very therapeutic that night. So that was something that we can definitely talk about later.
And it was a Selena song.
And it was a
Oh,
Selena song.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Full circle moment.
I do volunteer to be a backup dancer.
Hey.
I love to dance to Selena's
See?
cumbia.
And we had the fly girls, okay?
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
then we need to coordinate what we're gonna wear because we need to like
Definitely.
showcase.
Yes.
And the wishy-washy moves. I have that one really
Washer machine.
down. The washer machine move, I have it down. That's like on my mom list of dance moves that I do.
Me
in
too.
front of
I
my
think
kids.
we all have that one. I tell my grandkids, my granddaughter.
All right, so I think this is a good point to kind of everybody got loose already. Everybody's chit chatting. Let's go ahead and talk about what the episode is. Is pretty much The Light Remains. So I have been very blessed and very lucky that I have not lost anybody very close to me in my intimate circle. So I can honestly say I do not know what you guys are going through. And I'm just here to hear you all out and support you in every which way possible. I don't know, Lola, have you lost anybody really close to you in your circle?
Not close, but I'm a nurse, so I've sat and held hands with a lot of patients, and part of it was school, so I didn't know what to do. And I mean, you have sometimes families come in, and it's very difficult to say something that you don't want to, say anything wrong. So
Yeah.
I've held a lot of hands, and it was an honor for me because some of these patients, they didn't have family here, and they didn't have anyone, and I saw my mom do it growing up, so it's definitely impactful for me to be there. And sometimes you just need someone to sit with you and not say anything and just have the company and the fellowship. But so I mean, it's impacted me in a heavy way. So I'm interested to hear what y'all have to say.
Man, that's a hard job.
Well, it was just my trainings to, we all do it to, sit with the patients and just kind of get there. And I don't think they intended for them, but it was just their time.
It
And
just happened.
maybe they happened to feel that someone was there, and it's okay to let go. And I say it was an honor for me because it's just part of my job as a nurse. I mean, it comes with good and, really heavy
Heavy
times. So,
situations. Mhm.
but
It's definitely hard, but it's definitely an honor.
Yeah, it's a blessing you were there for them because God knows if the family was able to get there in time. Maybe they don't have any family, and you were just there at that moment, at that time. I think it's everything happens for a reason, anyways, at the same time too. We'll just go ahead and go around the room and express your loss, like your loved one. talk about how amazing they were, whatever you want to talk about, and of course, what happened after that, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, well, I miss my daughter. And, she was 37 with 3 daughters and a husband. And, she played softball. She was good at everything she did. She was a cheerleader in middle school. She was really good at that. But then she hurt her elbow, and she wasn't able to do that anymore. She played the violin. She sang with the mariachi. She paid for her little friends to go to Fiesta Texas with the money she made singing serenatas. She had a beautiful heart, and she could do anything well. Dance, she was in dance also, and was really busy. But then, she got pregnant when she was 17, and and she had a lot of dreams. And it's important, I think, to talk to our daughters and to our sons about birth control, because especially our daughters, they're the ones that are going to carry the baby in their womb for 9 months and probably take the responsibility, and and then the moms should tell the boys, hey, you need to be responsible also, about going around getting girls pregnant, because if they're very young and they have dreams and everything, but also a church family is very important. Janet and I, we go back, how many years? 30 years?
I think over close to 40.
Yeah. And so we
years.
we belong to a church family. And now that this happened to us, we hadn't seen each other in 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
And God brought us back together. And I know her mom, her dad, and Sarah, and we need a church family, because look at us now, we're here, together and helping each other, and now we're going through the same thing, and church families are real. If they're there for you, they're there, they love you, and what else? I'm gonna miss my daughter. My daughter. I'm not gonna lie. She, drank a lot and did drugs, and this is very hard for me to say. Not because, I don't want to, give out her dirty laundry. No. It's because I feel like it's her private life and it's my private life. However, for the good of others, it's important to mention it, and I didn't know, she had, I guess, trauma growing up, and I didn't even know. It's very, very important, and mainly I was a stay-at-home mom, but it's really important not to just leave your kids here and there, people, because then they grow up, they go through trauma when they're young, and you don't know because you're busy, I don't know, doing something else, or you just don't know. And it's very important to take care of our kids, and I just leave them here and there. And I didn't know that she had gone through that. And it does take a village to raise a kid, but the responsible parent always has to really just keep an eye on them. And then also, so I did realize that the children don't get lost out in the street, they get lost at home, in their home. If y'all can relate to what I'm saying. That is so critical, so important. our critical thinking skills need to widen, because then it hurts. It hurts so much.
Mhm.
And that's, and I love my daughter, beautiful daughter. And I know she's in heaven. I know Jesus took her because she grew up in church.
Mhm.
Janet, she knows we were always in church, in her faith and everything.
Mhm.
But sometimes life will, give you hard
Throw
severe
curveballs at you. Mhm.
traumas, and if you, I think she was so private. She didn't really like talking about her personal, private life, and I don't know how on earth we can convince her children, you need to talk. You need to tell us what's hurting you so much. Talk to us. Please talk to us. Please tell us. And you know what? I talked to I used to take her to counseling.
Mhm.
And when she passed away, I was trying to find her counselor and say, hey, like, what happened?
Mhm.
I took her to you so you could help me find out what's going on with her. But a lot of times psychologists, counselors, they don't really like to dig in deep,
Mhm.
because then they have to report it, and it's a lot of trouble for them. So it's like, no, we got to do our job better than that as counselors and psychologists, because if we're taking them to you so you can help us out because you're the professional, will help us out a little deeper, a little more profoundly, so, and but I love my daughter. She's beautiful. What comforts me is that I know she's in heaven, and I know one day we'll be together. That's my faith.
Thank you for
Yes,
everybody.
thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
I'm like, Renee, did you
How about you, Janet?
Well, I'm still, I know it's fresh. It doesn't matter how much time, if it's a little baby, hours, days, months. But I know it's the same hurt. But right now I still say it's fresh, in my heart, in my mind. It's only been
We celebrated 9 months.
9 months that we went to the balloon. We had a balloon release, and these were her favorite colors, so that's why I did the red and black on my nose. And so I try to do stuff that she liked. I wear my ring. I don't know if you can see it, but I have her engagement ring attached with my engagement rings, because she had lost it. He gave it to her, the fiance, in September. So it was lost in October. We couldn't find it. We looked everywhere on the couch, tipped it over, everything. And we couldn't find it. She's like, Mom, see if you find my ring. I lost it. And can you look in the vacuum cleaner? We looked in the vacuum cleaner, throwing dust everywhere. But nope, no ring. So a week after, she passed away. I got up. I was going to get my shoes on. I went to the couch. I was walking towards the couch, and the ring was facing the front door. The diamond was facing the front door. And I was like, isn't it? Is it or isn't it? And I was like talking to myself like crazy. And I was like, I had seen it when he gave it to her. She showed it to me. And I said, oh, it's so beautiful. So I picked it up, and I was like, it is. And I was like, what do I do with it? And I said, Mamas, what do you want me to do with it? I know you put it here, because I was going to sit down and put on my shoes. And I like I said, I picked it up, and I was like, what do I do? Do I wear it? Do I put it away? Do I give it to David, to your fiance? I said, what do I do? And then, so anyway, I just slipped it on my finger. And I said, well, it kind of looks good on there. I said, maybe, did you want me to wear it? And then, so I just left it there, and there was blues going back and forth. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go to a jewelry store and get it, put together with mine so it won't flip. So they're stuck together. And, but like I was saying, it's only been 9 months, and it's like every day I go to bed, I think of her. I wake up, I think of her. And it just, she was very talented. She loved drawing. She loved playing violin. She wanted to learn piano. And she had a keyboard and she did a real good job with it. And I said, you already know how to play piano. No, Mom, I want to learn the piano, like people play at church.
Yeah.
And this past Sunday, not today, last Sunday, I went to church and there was a girl that looked just like her. Her hair, her glasses, playing the piano, like the way she wanted to. And when she used to go to church with me, she would sing all the alabanzas, the songs, right? The K-Love songs and stuff. So, everything was just coming back to me. So the whole time I was in church, I was just crying a river. And at the end of the Mass, I told my husband, I need to go give that girl a hug. I had seen her before, but she was always playing the guitar. And I had never seen her play the piano, so I said, I need to go give her a hug. So I went, and sure enough, I just couldn't talk to her. I just started crying. And I told her, I said, I need to give you a hug. She goes, oh, okay. I said, you look like my daughter. You even sound like her. You look like her. And so, that's just something that's daily. It's like different. And I had been told that I was going to go through that, but it's so different when you experience it.
Yeah.
And I don't wish it upon anybody, my brother, my sister, I don't wish it upon no one, because it's something that you don't want to deal with, but it's a way of life. What can we do?
Yeah.
Like they say, like I've been learning, and I started going back to church because of the pandemic. I had stopped, and because of the pandemic, I had told my husband a week before my daughter passed, I had told him, you know what, it's time to go back to church. She wasn't sick or anything, it was like something just told me, go back to church. So I started going to church, and then the Tuesday the same week, I believe, we went to church, and then Tuesday, she ended up passing away. So the next Sunday we went to church, and I think that was a way of God preparing me to, that he didn't catch me on the time that I wasn't going to church. I was already going to church. So that really helped. And it gave me the strength, to go through what I'm going through. And, but she was 21 years old. We were blessed with her for 21 years. And it's just something that happened. She just got sick one weekend. She wasn't feeling good on Friday, Saturday. So her fiance took her on Sunday, and she was in ICU Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And it was 11 days shy from her 22nd birthday. So it was like her birthday was real hard. And, but I don't know if y'all have any questions or anything, but it's just been very hard. But I'm getting strength. During the week, I went to a restaurant, and it just helped me. I went to eat by myself. I usually don't do that. And I went to a restaurant, and there was 4 ladies talking on the table, and they were talking about depression and anxiety. And my daughter did suffer from that mental illness, anxiety, and depression. And they were talking about their daughters. I think 2 of them had daughters that are going through that same stuff. And they're like, but one of them's married, she has kids, and the kids are suffering together with her and this. And I was like, man, it hurts that she's not here, but she doesn't have no more anxiety, no more depression.
Yeah.
I said, she's at peace, having happy days, over there in heaven. And I said, and then another thing I learned at church too, that something negative, you feel it's negative, but a blessing is always the reason. And the Father Albert said, and I was like, well, what's the bright side of losing your daughter, And I was like, now I have an angel in heaven, taking care of us, helping, not just me, helping the entire family. And like she said, she's gonna be waiting for us up there in heaven. and we have somebody else. I know I have my grandparents, I have my uncles, but now I have my daughter that's gonna be waiting for us with her arms open, you know, for my parents, my nephews, my niece, my brothers, sisters, you know, everybody. So that's a blessing, the bright side of, you know, losing your child. I know I talk a lot.
No, that's good.
Okay. We're just all, you
Hey,
know.
wait till I start. Hey, wait till I start.
And really she's giving me the strength, because usually I can't even talk about her without crying. And I mean, even at the balloon release, my cousin's like, "Are you gonna say something before we release the balloons?" I was like, "No, I can't. I couldn't even get a word out." So that's why I'm surprised right now that I'm talking.
It's good.
And I know it's her.
That's her.
And her name is Roxanne Yvette Anchondo, and like I said, her birthday was November 22nd, 1999, and she passed away November the 11th, 2021. No children,
Yeah.
just 8 cats, indoor cats, all fixed, and 1 dog outside. So yeah.
Do you talk to her?
Oh yes, I have a pillow. It's like a full-size pillow. It's like when she was about 13. She loved Michael Jackson, so she had a shirt of Michael Jackson. And I talked to that pillow. I hugged that pillow, and I mean, I haven't slept with it lately, but I used to. But I mean, I have it right there by where I get up, and by my, you know, my Virgin Mary and, you know, my saints. And I tell her good morning. I tell them good morning, and you know, and I tell her good night and stuff like that. But I do talk to her.
Thank you so much, Anna, for sharing your
Yes.
story and sharing to Roxanne. Thank you to you ladies. Like I said, I'm a mom. I would not. I've talked to him about this, and like I see you all ladies, and like they are so brave and so strong. I don't know how I would be in my composure with that. But how about yourself, Daniel? I know you're part of Janet.
No,
Go ahead.
And he was getting real closer
Yeah.
to Roxanne. He was getting.
Because she was turning that
Yeah.
age of adult years,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you can
adult.
actually take her out and like not be a troll, you know. So, what do you feel? How do you feel?
I guess the one way you put it to me that makes sense to me is that I got robbed the opportunity to see her grow into her own, you know, because I'm the oldest out of the grandkids, so when everybody was growing up, like my brothers and she was, you know, I was gone, I was away, I was in college, I was, you know, out of the state, so, you know, this is me, I was reconnecting with, I mean, to this day, I'm reconnecting with my brothers and with her specifically, because I was just excited for her, to see her grow up. I appreciated her spirit, and I guess that's why she kind of like related to me a little bit, because we were both kind of wild. So I loved seeing that in someone, and I'm dealing with it, and I don't. I suppress it a lot. I'm different. In the sense, well, it didn't happen to me. I'm pretty sure if it happened to me, I'll probably be more vocal. I'll be going through the whatever coping mechanisms of different
They know who
stages.
you are.
But with my mom's side of family, like, you know, they're, you know, people that have gone through different stages of life and see me grown up and spoil the hell out of me. So I mean, I love them. Impacted me the most because it's not only the fact that she passed away; it's the aftermath. Seeing like, seeing the drama that's kind of like spilling out afterwards, and how that can fracture families. And I'll just throw it out there. My aunt is like she's a really important person to me, and I don't know. I hate seeing someone go through that. So, um, for anybody that's like out there that I guess that's had that person in your corner since the beginning, like I don't know, as far as not having the traditional family um, support because my parents were just a little background. My parents were had me when they were divorced, so I wasn't really supposed to happen. But so I guess that kind of put them in a awkward space, mentally as far as them being parents for me, because my mom was a young, a teen. How old was she?
18.
18. So, it was tough. But the good thing is I had a whole family that raised me. My grandparents, and my aunt, and my uncle.
You were the only one for 8 years.
For 8 years.
The only nephew, grandson.
To the point that kind of
I'm
makes
paying
me.
the consequences.
Yeah.
But he was the number one, and he's still the number one.
But I guess what I was trying to get to is that I don't know. I have to this day as an adult, I have a estranged relationship with both my dad and my mom. I keep them at an arm's distance just because I know I don't want to. It's good for my mental health to. I still love them, but I'm not gonna do something that impacts me because I'm not gonna be disappointed or not gonna have false expectations of who they are and what they can do for me. But my aunt has always been there emotionally, and so she's kind of like a mother to me. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Oh, I forgot to share something.
Sure.
It came to mind right now that he's sharing this, what he shared just right now. And it's about, division between the family and understanding one another. With my daughter, we had that problem because obviously I had a problem with her drinking and, I didn't really know about the others part, the drugs. So of course I would let her know. And one of the last time that I saw her on her birthday, I'm sorry, I messed up. I did the wrong thing. I was very upset at her. And I didn't even say happy birthday to her. And now, with my other daughter, we're kind of like in a similar situation. And I tell her, no, we need to talk. I love you. I'm not going to let what happened between your older sister and I, happen with you. And I, with you and me, like, I said, we get into arguments and I'm like, no, we need to talk. Let's calm down. And then I'm going to call you back and I'm going to say, daughter, I love you. We need to work things out. Mm-hmm. And we need to work it out, sweetie. We need to work it out because I'm not, how could I say, tough love is yes, but I think we could take it to an extreme, the tough love. And we need to be, giving lots of love to people. And I was going to share that, but I, of course I forgot. I don't have no notes or anything, but now you know, it's the same thing with my other daughters. They get mad and this and that, and I'm like, no, I love you. I'm gonna keep calling you back. I'm gonna keep telling you I love you. I need you. I'm your mom, and you love me and you need me too.
Mhm.
And yes, you know, I make you mad, you make me mad, but you know what? We know Jesus died for us on that cross because that's how you grew up. That's how I raised you. And we need to learn and we need to love one another because I'm not gonna let this happen. You know, what happened with me and my daughter that's now in heaven.
Yeah, that's something
So-
that you definitely do learn with, of course,
The bad-
tragic events or bad
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah, in a bad situation.
So with
Can I
that,
bring something up real quick?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I kind of wanted to share a different perspective, just because.
Sounds good.
No perspective is always a good perspective sometimes.
I'm kind of like I feel like the odd one out, like in the group a little bit.
Here?
Yeah.
oh,
Just because I know like they come from a. So I just come from
Yes.
I do come from a Catholic family, so I went through the motions, but I feel like it hasn't cemented in me,
Okay.
and so I'm more. I mean, I've gone through like different stages of my life, like in college, like I tried the black Catholic church, just because it was more youthful, it was more progressive, it was different for me. Like it seemed non-traditional, and it seemed like, well, also because they were it was a young priest. He
Okay, like the Black Catholic Church, is that the Devil's Church or what?
was
no, like
No.
African
What is a
American.
Black
no.
Catholic? I had
Black
never heard of it
African
in my life. Black
They have
Catholic
one here in
Church.
Holy Redeemer,
Like in the east side.
on the east side.
Oh,
That's
oh
what
my
he means.
God! I am really thinking negative here.
She's like, that's a devil's letter.
No.
I was like, what?
You were taking it literal.
African
You were taking it literal.
American. You went to an African American church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Say
okay.
tomato. Me trying to get out of my comfort zone and try to see what's out there, but also I just like I don't know, I'm not a. And then like our guest here is like a pastor, and so.
Yeah, pastor. Well, she'll
Yeah.
introduce herself.
But I'll
but-
introduce myself in a minute,
but
but
she
just
does not
going.
give those vibes.
No,
it's
but
very neutral.
What I gave you, just a little key thing.
I don't know.
Who freed the blacks?
But then I'm also
Wait,
like,
hold on,
I
hold
want
on.
to like chart this.
No. You're gonna hold on to it for this simple reason. Who freed the blacks?
I mean,
No,
themselves.
Abraham Lincoln.
I mean themselves. They
Well,
revolted.
They did, but who was the
Leader?
president?
I mean, yeah,
leader?
but
Abraham Lincoln.
yeah,
Why is the penny brown, and he's not silver?
I don't know.
For the simple fact that he freed the slaves.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't. I mean, it was more a political move.
It
Like,
was.
It
It
wasn't.
was.
It wasn't like he wanted to do it. He didn't want he wanted white people to get along.
Oh, of course,
Yeah,
of course.
so.
But at the same time, when somebody talks about political views on like Black Lives Matter and like the Latinos and everything else, and I said, look, with one picture, we're gonna come to an agreement that we are all the same,
Mhm.
because Cesar Chavez and Martin Luther King was both on that stand.
Yeah, and I
But
think
we don't talk about that.
I think a religious tradition. I think it's important. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
for me, like
Yeah.
I'm just a different person. I'm just
No,
built
yeah.
differently.
No, definitely.
No, but you see, you missed the point
Mhm.
because there were 2 points. It's that we raised our children, in the church, right? And with Jesus saying, "Hey, do you see Jesus on that cross? He did that for you,
Mhm.
So because a lot of people ask, why is Jesus on the cross? Because it keeps reminding us that's what he did for us, and that's what we teach our children. Because if not, then we forget. We easily forget. I'm more visual, I like to see things, and that's how my brain operates. But the second point, which is equally as important, is to me, this is an extreme tough love is when you give up on me and you give me to the devil. To me, that's extreme tough love. And to me, I think I used it a little too much in the past yes, my mom used it with me, but it was different times.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh shoot, I better listen to my mom. And she met my mom and her
Mhm.
mom, and they adore my mom, and my mom used tough love on me. But I was like, oh no, my mommy is everything to me.
Mhm.
My dad, they got a divorce and everything. So basically it was just her raising me,
Mhm.
with no other family. My stepdad, he was really nice. And so I could handle the tough love because I was like, okay, mom, if you slap me, that means I did something horrible. So it's like $1,000,000.
Mhm.
What are you trying to teach me?
Mhm.
Because she didn't want me in jail.
Mhm.
What they're gonna do worse things to me in jail. But when is extreme tough love? There's a difference between just tough love and moderate tough love,
Mhm.
extreme tough love. And when it's tough love, it's like you're throwing people to the devil, you're just giving it to them.
Mhm.
And this is because one time I was in downtown San Antonio, I didn't have a car, I was waiting on the bus, and there was this African American young adult. He was maybe like, I don't know, between 20, 25 maybe. And there was another Mexican gentleman, probably in his, I don't know, 40s. And he was digging through the trash downtown San Antonio. And this young African American said, oh, his mom gave him to the devil.
Mm.
And I was like, wow. You know what? That's exactly what we do when we use extreme tough love. Like if we don't want to, if we're, and even us, because Jesus said, love your brother as yourself. If we don't really want to help out, reach out to others and give or whatever, well, we're really giving them to the devil, like that young African American said, and that's where I got it from. And I'm like, oh, don't use extreme tough love on me. Don't give me to the devil. Help me, have pity on me. Let's
And
be
that's something though
pious.
that we kind of learned. That's very generational
Tough love.
stuff that we've
Uh-huh.
all gone through, and we've all seen like different versions of that. Of you're giving them to the devil, right? So, but it's pretty much saying is you're either gonna help your neighbor, your person, your kids, even though they're in like going through a turmoil at that moment, but you're there. You would rather give that love and that. Hopefully, that guidance will bring him back to you again, right? If you're religious, God will come bring him back to you. If you're spiritual, there's different ways of achieving that enlightenment, right? It's not just one way of the church or the priest of going there. There's so many ways that how they always say God is everywhere, right? God's underneath that rock. That God's in this damn pan dulce. Yeah, He's everywhere. So and as far as Dad, I can like I'm more about a spirit on the spiritual end. But this is, I think, a good opportunity. We all kind of shared our issues or our dramas or our like fears of like dealing with the people who are around us right now. Especially we've been so traumatized, and so like the death of a loved one is very impactful, right? And we need to kind of figure out how we're gonna go in this process with ourselves, and then now with our loved ones, and just to continue the daily things. So I think this is where a great spot for you to kind of guide in the conversation. For Joe, if you want to introduce yourself, like your many besides singing, your many skills that you have, you're gonna bring to us at the table right now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my name is Joanne, aka as known as is Joe. Everybody in the industry, everybody that knows me is, hey, that's Joe. Hey, Jojo, come here. It's just easier to say, and it's just something open. I am a life coach, and let me give you a little briefing of what a life coach is, because I know she brought up, what a therapist is supposed to do and how they're supposed to help us. Well, a therapist is the past, a life coach is the future, and the future of everything that we're going through. And I may seem like I'm religious because I came with my Bible. No, I just got out of church and I ran over here. So I actually almost not showed up with this Bible because the lady next to me was telling me, yeah, I need to buy one. And I was about to give her this Bible, but I'm like, no, just hold on to it, just hold on to it. So I was just literally going to give it to her. It was something somebody gave me, but I go from a religious standpoint to a overall standpoint. I've, done enough studying. I've been in the mentoring industry since 2002, just about when my son was born. So I know you guys seen the video of 2014 when MTV3 came out and, did a live broadcast of who we were because they believed so much in what we were doing with these teenagers. So that grows a big impact on me and why I've turned to becoming a life coach. Now, I've heard everybody's stories and just a little bit, because it's something that I have to pretty much kind of get through and hope to understand that, yes, we all have lost loved ones. And then the ones that haven't lost loved ones, the understanding that it's just not only grieving is losing someone. It's also having a parent with Alzheimer's. You go through the 7 levels of grieving. Even though they're still alive, you have to go through those 7 steps as well. Mm-hmm. Because even though their still heart is beating, they don't remember you. Mm-hmm. And you're bargaining, you're fighting with yourself. Mm-hmm. And then you have to come into the acceptance of it. So it's not only for the down under, that's buried 6 feet underneath, or the ones that are cremated, I lost my father May 6th. I haven't shed a tear. He was my biological father. I wasn't raised with him. Mm-hmm. I met him when I was 16. It hasn't impacted me yet because we all go through our grieving stage different. Mm-hmm. We all go through the 7 levels different. Shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, processing grief. And in those steps, we fail to realize, hey, our mental health is key factors here. How are we going to get through this? How are we going to help each other as a family? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to bring up the generational curse. We have this thing that nobody wants to talk about. You talked about it clearly, understood every aspect of, hey, what am I going to do to make a difference? Mm-hmm. Yeah, did I bargain and did I do wrong? And yeah, I did. And I'm sorry. But at the same time, what are we going to do to fix it? What are we going to do what are we going to do to show the next 3 daughters what it is to do right and what it is to do wrong? Because if we leave it at this stage, they're going to just continue that cycle. We're going to continue that cycle. And it was a prime example of my life repeated itself in my mom and dad's life. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's not their time, it was God's time. Why I was born, why I'm still here. My twin sister passed. She was eaten up by all of the drugs, alcohol, whatever that was going on, but I was just back there in the back just chilling, ready to come out. So I know that God has placed me on this earth because the devil tried to take me out twice. Mm-hmm. 1, a gun to the head, 2, getting hit by a truck. Mm-hmm. And they talk about the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, yeah. That light just went, wow, go back over there. So I woke up and I'm like, I have a purpose. We all have a purpose. And my purpose is to educate, help, even at a free level. I don't care. I will do it for free because that's something that God has told me. Hey, I brought you here to San Antonio, Texas for a reason. I lived in Georgia for 23 years. I am originally from Austin, Texas, and I left for many generational reasons. Many. And I know I would have fell into that curse. Mm-hmm. My stepfather that passed told me that it's the best thing for me to do, continue my education, get away from all this. You're going to become something great. I never knew what that was until now. I'm here, 42 years old, trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And now I've been getting more epiphanies and more, hey, this is what you're doing. I was like, okay, sure. The religious part I come from is only a Proverbs religious standpoint in a sense. I mean, do I believe in the word of God? Yes. Proverbs is a part of the woman's book. Mm-hmm. If anybody has read Proverbs is very strong. I've gotten to the point where I've considered myself to becoming a Proverbs woman. And I think there's a lot of Proverbs women out there, but we just don't know who we are. We don't know why they're considered that. Hardworking, giving to your husband, giving to your kids, making sure everybody's taken care of. There's so many aspects of becoming a Proverbs woman. So, I try to preach that to a lot of, people that are not religious. Regardless of whatever level you're at, there's always a reasoning behind why you even stepped into the church the first time. Just like you said, you came from a black church. I come from a lot of black churches in Atlanta. Love them all. I love every soul song, every aspect of it. And I've been shot down. I've been told that, the difference of, religions and stuff like that. I was like, no, it's just always one God. I don't care what anybody says. Pastor Ed this morning was talking from CBC Church in San Antonio, Texas. Funny story, because I was looking for a new church in Atlanta, and I've read his book, and I was like, wow, I think I have to move to San Antonio. Heard of him, and then went to a dealership. This guy's like, here's a book, read it. I'm like, Ed again. And I'm like, oh Lord, okay, I'm on my way. So I met him, and I was, I haven't met him personally, but I went to the church. I met the church, and he's just wonderful for every aspect. They have an English, Spanish, session and all that other stuff. The thing that I like about him, or love about him so much, he is so real. There's not this, reading off the Bible, this is what is going on. No, my pastor has ADD, and he will tell you, oh wait, we were not supposed to talk about that. Hold on, let's go back to the verse. So that makes everybody feel good, to actually be in a certain home, to call it your home. Going off of, and I can just take it so many places and touch each and every subject of what's going on, because I wrote it down and I'm reading everything. I'm going to start off with, it's so easy to hate. So easy to hate. You can hate the lady that says, what do you want? Karen, calm down, Karen. It's so easy to hate. Why can't it be as easy to love? Why can't it be so easy to love? I tell everybody I love you. They're like, oh, you don't even know me. I said, I don't care. I can hate you too. But it's negative, negative to a positive. So negative and positive always creates that electrical shock, in everybody's life. So the impact of generational curses, I would love for you to become a part of a group, just looking towards the future. And the more you believe in something, is the more the three girls are going to believe in something else too. Did she have a bad past? We all do. Was she on drugs and everything? Yeah. Go to those locations. Go to those places. Be a volunteer. Have your daughter say, hey, come here, come with me. Hey, man, I need your help. And you don't have to tell them what you're doing. Just, I need your help. They're going to come because grandma's telling them to come. And it's just like, you're only giving them a glimpse of the future to not let it repeat itself. And you're helping them. Is a therapy good? Yeah, therapy is great. But you have to accept therapy in order to get therapy. And a lot of us Latinos, minorities, are not on that page. I put my son through therapy ever since he was 6 years old. Now he's 20 in the Navy. But I made sure anything that I've done in my life, I was going to get him therapy for everything he's gone through. Because I never gone through therapy, and I wanted to break that generational curse of like, no, you're getting help. He never understood it, but he appreciates it to this day. So definitely getting them help. It's not who helps them, it's who understands them to get the proper help. I've been through 17 therapists. I'm like, you know what, a therapist is not going to help me. I need a psychiatrist. I need a psychiatrist. There's too much going on in this head. It's like, do you got multi-personalities? I said, maybe. I don't know. Maybe my twin sister's there sometimes, and I can go straight Jesus to straight thug. What are we doing? But, just touching everybody's life. And the 8, key factors of, knowing also physical, emotional, social, spiritual, personal, space, financial, and work. We don't think about that when somebody passes away, ever. And when you're married, when you have a spouse, you guys have to talk about, hey, if somebody very close to you was to pass away, somebody very close to me was to pass away, how am I supposed to react? How would you react? How am I supposed to react? And we're supposed to gain those words and help them for the future. Because sometimes we don't talk about that. You know, like, how can I talk to you? What code word are we going to use? Like, hey, just get away from her. She's good. Just go leave her alone. You know, or, you know, respectfully say, hey, you know, everything is good. You know, hey, how can I get you through what you're going through, your grieving process? Because there's grieving and there's mourning.
Mhm.
She's mourning. If she's mourning, she's grieving.
Mhm.
Past, present. As far as whatever levels they're going through and what process they're at, what are they going to do to change the future of their mental, physical, emotional, social, spiritual, personal space, financial, and work? The best thing I can advise you to do with piano. You don't have arthritis, right? God's given you a gift. Show her in the future when you go see her. Look, Mija, I learned how to play the piano. This is for you. This is for us. This is for something that I need to do for us, and this is what pleases me. This is my time with you every single day. You know, you lead the girls into a future of generational curse, because that's going to help them in the future. Show them what a druggie looks like. Go downtown to go downtown to I call it Zombie World, because I've never been down there, and when I went, there was a guy running around with a robe naked. There was a lady. There was a guy dancing, and I'm like, oh my god! And then I'm like, get off and go give them $1. I'm like, stay off drugs. You got to show them that. You got to. That's what it is. Drinking, boys, everything, just everything in general, you know. And then something that you believe in is something that they're going to believe in because of the loss that they're still, the levels that they're still going through. So, right, PTSD.
Mhm.
Well, there's also PTG. PTG is post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. PTG is post-traumatic grieving. Can you say you're post-traumatic grieving still? Right, you can. You can. No matter how many years, it could be 15 years from now. I still grieve over my adopted mom that, you know, I have a 6-hour tattoo on my leg for her, because that is something that's how I grieve. I have memorial pieces on me. I don't have random tattoos. Every tattoo has a meaning. And it's her face. It's her face there, but it's got the other little muertos behind it. Why? Because I celebrate that day in her honor, regardless. And it's just how we cope and how we deal with, you know, our death, you know, our future. There's always, like, people not being educated as well. There's a number nobody knows about. Get your phone and dial 13 11 14. That's the grieving hotline. Nobody knows about that. Star 67, everybody does. Block them. That is something, you know, nobody knows that they're calling. And then there's an English Spanish grief hotline. Kids from the ages of 4 through 11, they get free mentoring. They get free talk. They can talk for free with these people. As well as the adults, you know, there's an 800 number that you can call 24 hours, 365 days out of the year in San Antonio. Substance abuse hotline, mental hotline, they're out there. They just, we didn't know that. Of course we didn't know that. We didn't got to pick up a pamphlet anywhere to go find out. You know, they don't teach us that in school. So, you know, everything that I'm talking about is for the future, not from the past. Because we already know what happened. Mm-hmm. But it's to prepare for the future and the future generation of the kids to say, hey, this is how we're going to, you know, end up looking at life from now on. So, I mean, like I said, I have so much in my books of stuff and how to deal with these levels. Like I say, spiritual, time alone, meditation, prayer, nature, sacred place. Mm-hmm. Your sacred place could be the piano with her. Nobody bothers you for 15 minutes. Like, get out. No, get out. You know, meditation. I've learned meditation.
Or you can get on the 4-wheeler.
That too. Yeah.
Hey,
well, there you go. There you go.
A lot of memories in this.
Well, you know what? There you go. You keep on riding that 4-wheeler. Say, look, I need to do it for 15 minutes a day, and you can talk to her.
But can you go like 20 miles an hour?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's how she used to go
Yeah.
too. She used to go
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
I
So,
was like,
you know,
Mama, slow down.
yeah. And also like writing letters to her. Writing letters. Just start writing. Hey, this happened to me today. Hey girl, this happened. And I can't believe like I write my mom letters all the time. Mom, I got stood up today. I don't know what I did. Or, just anything. And then the day of her birthday, the day of her death, I burn them. I sit there in front of a fire and I burn them. And it's just a memory of her. But that's for me. That's how I deal with it. And however everybody wants to deal with their own impact that's going to make them move forward, it's key. It's definitely key. Other male, female people, other generations out there, they just turn strictly to alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And alcohol poisoning and
That's what kind of where I've kind of changed. Well, ever since I was kind of prepping before that I wasn't like drinking as much, and then like after she passed, I just kind of like I just calmed down a lot more. Just because it makes me process things better. And
you bargained. You were at that bargaining stage, and now you're at the acceptance stage. With acceptance comes hope and peace, and you're almost there. And just after that is processing, and these 8 key factors is how to process it. You don't know how to process this stuff. It wasn't a book. We weren't. Hopefully it was in the Bible somewhere. It is, but we can't translate it, and we can't, kind of come to it as fast as we want to in life. But there's so many key factors that, we can look into for the future, of, how to look at things, how to move forward, how can I start this day, without falling back into my deep depression. Music has always been the key to my soul. Comedy, I love comedy. I don't care English, Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to all of them because it just cleanses my soul. And
¿Hablas español?
sí hablo español también.
¿Dónde aprendiste?
En el gimnasio, te digo.
Gimnasio? At the gym?
It is crazy. Okay, cuando yo tenía
You are smart.
Cuando yo tenía 18 años, yo estaba buscando un trabajo allá en Georgia. Y un señor me dice, hey, estoy buscando una latina que puede vender, memberships del gimnasio. ¿Tú hablas español? I'm like, no, man. I understood everything you said, but no. Pero al mismo tiempo le dije, okay, voy a entrar, voy a mirar cómo, ese trabajo, me encantaba mucho. Me preparé para enseñar otros latinos cómo hacer los ejercicios porque unos venían como 2 horas en el gimnasio. I'm like, ese hombre no está haciendo nada. Está quemando más músculo que, grasa. Y le enseñé como like, oh, wow, okay. Tú me enseñas cómo hacer ejercicios, yo te enseño español. I'm like, okay. Sas, vamos a hacerlo.
Mm-hmm.
Bargaining, let's do this. Y ahí es donde yo aprendí cómo hablar también. Y también, sé cómo hablar tagalo, inglés, entiendo portugués, entiendo italiano, por la vida que, pasé yo. So, I'm just full of knowledge, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know, it's just in there. You can ask me anything and I can just like, okay, let's talk about this. I don't know, it just comes to me. But yes, I am fluent in English and Spanish. There's some words that, I tend to still mess up because of the slang. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Generational curses. Do not call them sacatinas because that's not what they're called.
Yeah.
Mom, why didn't you tell me that's what it was? Cagaos. No, so I got some signals. I was so embarrassed. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed when I had told this guy. I was like, what? And I said, never mind. My mom would just like make up words for us to kind of say, and I'm like, man, that's not how you say that word.
There's a lot of actually TikTok videos about it. Like,
Yeah.
did you know that this is, and it's just something you grew up with generations and
Yeah.
So on those 8 things to help you process grieving, which one would you say? Is there one that you feel like it's really important, or?
I mean, it got to be important to everybody at whatever level. Like, what are you lacking in life right now? Could you say? in a physical, emotional, social, spiritual, personal space in general, because we got kids that are always around us. I'm like, hey man, it's the time that you're going to invest into logging back on there, going finding the churches that will do, free computer classes. There's so many free programs out there, especially in San Antonio. Time management, I like a lot of time management. I'm learning it slowly but surely. Work boundaries, family boundaries, like, hey, I'm going to dedicate this, please give me my time. Please respect the time for me. And breaks. You got to take your mental breaks. You have to take those mental getting away from your schoolwork, getting away from, life, taking a walk in the park and saying, okay, so these are my goals. These are what I'm going to do. You manifest. I'm going to go find a free class next week and do it. You'll do it. You manifest it. You tell yourself over and over every day, and when you're driving, you'll do it. It'll happen, because that's just manifestation. So it's just one key. There's so many of them, but it's just what you're lacking in the stage. Are you lacking anything?
No, I just have a friend that she's always told me, she's been telling me for months, maybe like 3 months. She's like, you need to get counseling. She goes, have you ever tried counseling? I said, no, I haven't done it. I always took my daughter for her mental issues. I always took her to counseling, since she was 12, because she started her medication at 12. And I was very against it, but that's when she started. And then I said, no, I had never done it. So the only thing I've been doing lately is trying to stay positive, listening to, Christian stations, English and Spanish. I listen to both. And then recently I just signed up into a workshop.
Awesome.
It's like a Bible and prayer workshop that I started last week and the week before. So it's 2 classes that I've gone so far, and it's a 15-week workshop. So it's it's a pretty long one.
Yeah.
And I think that's really helped me because it's helped me to concentrate when I go to mass, when I go to church. It's really been helping a lot, and so I've been doing that. So, but I still feel like the counseling that my friend has been suggesting, I think I still need it.
Yep. And in your head, you have to understand, do I want to talk about the past, or do I want to talk about the future? And that's the level that you could be at a physical level.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure your sleeping patterns on track. You have to make sure you're stretching. You have to make sure you're walking, your exercise, your nutrition. Mentors, churches, anybody that can help you stay focused on your future of what you're trying to achieve. And that's going to help you physically, get you to where you need to be for the future. And, if you need to let the past go, definitely, we can look for a therapist. But like I said, there's different levels of therapy. I know Latinos are so against sometimes, they're not going to help you. They're not going to help you. And it's finding the right person to help you. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if you can't accept me saying,
For me, I remember when my mom, like 29 years ago, when she passed away. I don't know why Jesus took her so fast. We needed her, but I missed her so much. And I would, when she first passed, I would go to her graveside all the time, take flowers and talk to her and say, Mom this and Mom that, and, Mom, what do you think? And Mom. And one day, I was so hurt because she didn't talk back. So now I talk to Jesus, and now Jesus talks back to me. My mom doesn't, but this is my faith, and now Jesus talks back to me, and now I'm happy. I'm like, okay, Mom, you're with Jesus, and he's our superhero. He's our God, our King of Kings, and you're with him. And he talks back to me, Mom. He talks back to me. He tells me what to do. He takes care of me. And you told me you know, mija, I don't have money to leave you, but I leave you Jesus Christ. He is the greatest treasure that I can leave you. And I say, Mom, thank you because you left me Jesus. And he talks to me and he tells me what to do. But that's from my faith, you know. But I just wanted to share that I one day I just snapped and I was so distraught. I was like, Mom, you're not talking back to me like the way we used to talk all the time. And I can't handle this. I need somebody to talk to me. You know, you need to talk to me. So then I started talking to Jesus and he tells me what to do. And here we are, you know, but it's my faith. So Daniel was right. It's, you know, how much, I guess, growth you have in your faith. So that's where I'm at, you know.
At any time, did your mother ever tell you were hard-headed, like, you know, cabezona, sometimes, just because you didn't listen? Just randomly asking you a question, just randomly. I don't know why I'm asking you that. I don't know why I'm just asking you.
Yes, I am stubborn as a bull.
Okay, good. That's what it is. I am not a medium. I do not
I was
do
gonna
that.
say she coming
I
through
do
you.
not do that. Nor do I want to. I got too much going
Say, we're
on.
not gonna do this because last guest,
No,
remember they said they saw a
yes,
ghost and
no.
they said, yeah. I was like, don't
And
tell me. You're
I
saying
just
something
know
else.
that I'm very
Sorry,
cabezona.
we got
No,
it.
like I know I'm just very cabezona. I am, and I'm saying that because, and I had to ask you, because that moment that you felt that your mom was not talking to you, she's like, you know
Talking
what?
back to me.
She's not talking back to you. She's like, you know what? Go tell her. Go, she don't listen to me. Go tell her. So God came and told you, girl.
Go intercede.
She did.
You know, because sometimes we're just so hard-headed. We are. We're just so in our head. But I don't know why I had to because I am the same way.
But the thing is, you know, to me here is who made us? Well, in my belief, in my faith, my creator made me. So he's going to know everything about me and he's going to understand me and he's going to talk back to me. And my mom can't.
Yeah, exactly.
So I now, you know, I'm happy and I'm like, yes, Mom, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, you told me you were leaving me Jesus and indeed, that's how it is. You
You
were
can
always
win.
right, Mom.
You can win.
No, but I wanted to
yeah.
talk to her.
I know.
You know, I wanted to share everything with her and talk to her and everything. And I just thought I would share that little
Yeah, that's
story. That was a
awesome.
big
Yeah.
impact on my life, you know.
I mean, spiritual, definitely. I don't know what level of spiritual that you're on, and it's not always spiritual. Before I even got to the point of like believing in God, I was more meditation, more of the free world. My life has revolved into believing that God is there for me and for everyone else, and you know, He comes to you and He tells you. And you're just like, well, fine. Fine, man.
No more mimosas for Daniel.
No more refills.
Yeah.
He says that God sent him refill.
I'm like, no more mimosas for Daniel.
Well, this is amazing because honestly, I didn't know there was like 8 steps after grieving.
Yes.
You know, and I don't think a lot of anybody really doesn't know that you have to worry about grieving, not just losing, but spiritually, financially, who would have thought, nutrition, healthy wise. And I think all that is very important for the people who have lost for anybody because it comes back to take care of yourself, right? So that's a list of like taking care of you. Because I think that's when we lose ourselves a lot, when we lose a person, a loved one. We go the different way. We ignore us and all those things that we need to go through grieving. And then we are told also, think positively, have a smile on your face. Let's, believe in God, go in Jesus. I think that's great. But also I think it's very normal for us to be in the dark, to let go of those emotions, to be angry, to be sad, to cry, to remember and say, why her, why him? I think it's okay for us to go through those stages. But I think that this is very important to kind of get us out of those dark moments. But I think it's very important for anybody who has lost people. I don't want everybody to be like, man, everybody's happy and go lucky and like positivity about Jesus, spiritual. Yes, those are things that will help you get out of it. But also just realize it's okay to feel the
Feel
dark.
the feels,
No,
yeah.
no,
to go
because
those
you know what?
emotions.
I say, I want her back. I want her back, Jesus. I want her back. Bring her back. I want her back. I love her. I love her. I know you love her more and you died for her, but I want her and I love her and I miss her and I miss you, daughter, and I love you and I want you back over here. And why? Because God knows I feel all that. So I tell him, and it makes me feel better. And then
it's finding these coping mechanisms to get you out. Yours is talking to God now. You went talking to a stone to now talking to God.
Yes.
And actually, in a long way, it is your mom kind of directing you indirectly to the right post. And it's just always a reminder of like how strong as we are as women. We can withhold a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of sadness, and then even though we might be in a tornado, we're still trying to like guide and protect this little home, or trying to like guide you on that route. So for me, this was like new. That's why I stayed pretty much quiet, because I didn't know all these things that a person has, that don't know they have to do this. And also, it's also good for me and for people who have someone who's like close to them. Now you have kind of an idea how to support that person, right? So that to me has enlightened me of ways to support the people who are going through these times. Even though they're smiling, laughing, touching base with you. I think it's really another point that you said, Joe, but really like it was really beautiful about Janet, like reconnected with the piano, like learning the piano. I just felt like that's a very intimate moment between her and Roxanne, and or four-wheeling, whatever you guys are, you relate to that to your person, and also like going back to your daughters, like showing them like what can be, or just volunteering in those situations so that way they can see a different light of grandma, of mom, I think those are really good points regarding what you were talking about. Also like noticing the difference between a life coach thinking about the future. So I think life coach, if you have access to them and someone like Joe or anybody else, I think it's good something to talk about. Even if you haven't gone through a loss, I think having a life coach with you is like your own cheerleader in a way. I'm not gonna deny therapy. I think therapy is very much needed for Annie. We're both attending, and we actually, about finding the therapist that works for you.
Yes.
We finally found a therapist that works for both of us, and we're at a happy stage. But I'm telling you, we went through already, I don't know, a handful of therapists that didn't work, or didn't connect, or that little light bulb didn't switch over for us, or we weren't really fully 100% there to listen to what they're telling us, or telling myself, or telling you individually. So I feel like that's important, especially with young kids. Anybody who you're around is this, just sending them there, or sending them to a version of a counseling if you can't go to a therapy session. With that kind of said, is there anything else you want to add, Joe?
I want to add one last thing. In my belief of why I'm here today, and like I was saying, I went to church this morning. I just couldn't not go this morning because I needed an opening line, and I needed God to tell me, hey, this is what you're gonna say. And I'm like, okay, gotta go. But for me, it's opening my mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who destitute. So I begin words backwards, girl. I'm dyslexic también, but but I also want to in myself with actually praying, and just praying over your daughters, and your lost one, that now I understand it's like connected here. I can feel it connected here. So I just want to just say this prayer for you guys, and not once I'm going to use God's name in it, for the ones that are religious, for the ones that are not. Let's pray. Let's give us thanks to the spirit of life and past life. Let's give thanks to all the people that we have loved, and every person that has loved us, for all the memories that will always live in our hearts, gone but never forgotten. And that was just for you guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Salud. Cheers.
Cheers.
We need to make the
spectator in this family, in the y'all's family, and I witnessed the loss of Roxanne. But I tell him, and I see it as how of an amazing mom you were to Roxanne. Oh, Julia. You were an amazing mom. Your love it was there. You could feel it with Roxanne.
Every day. I love you, mamas. Love you too, mom. I hear it every day.
Yeah, and you seen it, I saw it, and then not your love just didn't not touch Roxanne, it touched Daniel, because Daniel pretty much says you're his mom. So thank you for showing him and showing Roxanne that love that she knew that she had unconditionally for you. And you as a mom, I don't know you, but I can hear that you're a mom just like all of us here, or all of us with our fur babies and our loved ones, how much you loved your family and how conscious you are that you're trying everything you can so that way the pattern finally breaks with your family. And like we always say, good vibes to everybody here, and hopefully it does break that curse and you guys just continue moving forward. The title of the episode is the light remains, right? So that pretty much is from a quote saying, there are some who bring in light so great to the world, even after they have gone, the light remains. So I feel like that's the presence of your girls.
Yes,
You
it's
know,
true.
definitely
That's beautiful.
You know, and you guys are continuing living their legacy and continuing showing how much they were loved, how great they were as women. And I think it's pretty much very, very true. Like, I always tell her Roxanne would be amazed, because I know she had some mental health issues about certain things that I don't know her life, or I don't know the traumas, but I know maybe that was one of the questions, you know, would it matter if I was here or not? And seeing the aftermath of her leaving the world very drastically, but seeing how everybody came out and expressed their love and expressed how amazing she was, I think she's now looking and finally feeling at peace that she is that light, and she was always that light. We saw a song that was created for her after her passing from one of her friends, and it was a really good song, and it was, you know, and it just threw him off guard, threw me, because, you know, someone just sends you this recording, like, here's this song for your cousin that passed away, because he talked so nicely and so loving for her, and it's just amazing how you as a mom should be very proud how much she impacted everybody around her, and her light and her legacy continues.
Yeah, like everybody always, like at the funeral, everybody was hugging me, and oh, she had a brilliant smile, and she was always happy. But me as a mom, I saw her when she had those bad days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she would go up to me and say, "Mom, I'm having a bad day. I'm gonna be in my room." She goes, "I'm not gonna come out until I feel better, but if you want to go in there and check on me, I'll be there." So I saw her in her bad days, but now it's like no more bad days.
Yeah.
So that's what consoles me, that she's happy all the time.
And you know, with my daughter, it was also, she went into the hospital on a Friday night, and by Monday, you know, Jesus took her. So it was like, oh, we don't have money for the funeral, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I invited her best friend to go see her at the hospital, because I let her know, hey, you know, I think it's her last day. So she rushed over there. And then she found out that we didn't have money for the funeral. So she did a GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
And in a week, she had the $11,000.
Mm.
And you know, that's a miracle.
Yeah.
That is a miracle, because when do you hear that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they raised all that for the funeral in a week? So the Lord honored her. I feel like it was an honor and a miracle for my daughter. And then for the family too, you know. And it was like, my friend asked, who's donating? And I said, I don't know. I said, you know, I don't know. She goes, well, they're donating. It's going up.
All the people that loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Friends.
And so, you know, I felt like that was a way that God honored her.
Yeah.
And it was a miracle to me. So
Definitely. Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Daniel.
Thank you.
It's a
Joe.
lot of female energy.
You know you love it.
You know you feel honored.
Discreetly, yes, he does. And, Joe, I would like to know for you, like, I know you moved here, and I know this is your new adventure with Life Coach and everything, your new journey. Do you want to share anything that you want to put out there that you would like, hopefully, or that you're working on, or see to come? We'll see what's going to come in the future.
Well, what I'm manifesting in my future is just opening that door. You ladies, I thank you guys so much for, inviting me, because it's a good way for me to kind of get my name out there. I'm not, in my heart, God's not telling me to go promote and go spend money on advertising and all this other stuff. No, I'm not doing that. Making a card, just hoping, if you are in need, regardless of whatever financial situation you're in, God has a way to pay the past for us. And, if you call, I want to help you, in the future, just kind of putting my name and myself out there, because I've come, like I could say, say I'm jack of many trades, and you'll believe physically, mentally, emotionally, jack of many trades. I done a lot, seen a lot, been through a lot, and some people say, man, where's your book? And I'm like, not done with it yet. Not done with it yet. And they're like, why not? I said, because I need one more person to pass before I can publish it, because I am not going to get sued.
Okay.
But, hey, it's one of those things, but, in life, just, hey, I can put my cell phone number out there, and just call me, if you, need anything. I'm trying to create a Facebook and a website and all this other stuff, but that takes a long time.
It does.
We're just never sure what we want. And, I've finally done my business card. I shared with you guys that, it's not only from a religious standpoint, but hey, if you need it, it's there.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find somebody that can't be biased, and they can't, say, oh, we can't talk about God. No, we can talk about anything you want. This is the future. This is not the past. And not saying that you don't need that. Because sometimes you'll talk to me, I'm like, look, fear. Face everything and run. Face everything and rise. Which one is your choice? And that is fear. That is the word fear to me. So, we don't want to run away from our problems. We want to face our problems, and knowing that, or get through them all. So, if you guys want, you can always find me with comadres and compadres, because y'all got me for good now.
Dang it, where's the return now?
I will be at every event because I have no social life. So, if you want to reach out, or if you want to, come hang out with us, definitely, we're here for you guys.
Nice. Thank you so much for letting your wisdom and your guidance and your information, because honestly I did learn a lot. And thank you to everybody joining us
Thank you,
here.
ladies.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.